Today, you can probably see from around us, it's a gorgeous, warm morning. It's already about 25 Celsius. I've got Stan and Gary with me, who I met through the DeFasco Anglers Association, and they want a trip fishing with me. So we're going to be fishing a place called Adolphus Reach, which is on the Bay of Quinte, but it's very close to the mouth of the St. Lawrence. And we're going to be throwing some crankbaits.
Let's go fishing. People, when you're in the mood, let's go fishing. Well, it's just me and you. Head on down to the fishing hole. Grab your hat, get your pole. Let's go fishing. When you're in the mood.
Canadian Sport Fishing is brought to you by Rapala, premium fishing gear crafted from experience. Yamaha Outboards, reliability starts here. Sail, the outdoors superstore. Fisher Girl, catch the passion.
So in the Kawarthas, have you caught some nice walleye?
I've caught walleye, but not this big.
Not that big.
Okay, we won't mess around because it's the first one.
There you go.
Now, did you get a hello hit? Did you know?
Oh, that was beyond a hello.
It wasn't like a tap. How did it feel?
Oh, just by the boat, and he just hammered it.
Remember I said just a few minutes ago, reel in slow, because sometimes I've almost had him hit the side of the boat.
Yeah, this one was
Yeah, right at the side of the boat.
They don't
That was
behave
beautiful.
like walleye. They behave more like muskie. And look we've got beautiful bright skies,
Yep. And
flat
here we are,
water,
catching
and
walleye.
these guys are on the prowl. We're going to do the perfect release, but you know what? I'm going to take a measurement real quick.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So I got to be very careful because they got very sharp gill rakers. I'm guessing it's about 25 inches. So let's see here. Zero. It's 22. I guess I'm all excited. Okay. We're going to hold the net. Look at this is perfect. Let him revive a little bit.
Yeah.
They have tons of energy because we're close to deep water here. So I'm just going to turn him so he's probably going to shoot out of the net. As soon as he gets righted and he gets his full color back, he'll swim out. I really like, this is a Lucky Strike net, and it's called a live release basket net, so it's not too deep.
Very nice.
So even for releasing the fish, it's very easy. So he's almost ready. So we're just going to let him go like that.
There we go.
There you
Wasn't
go.
that a
Look at
beautiful
Well,
release? Well done.
Beautiful.
Now, you know, when Gary and Stan got picked, it was a draw. There were people that really wanted to be out with us, you know.
Oh,
and I
you
think
bet.
if we would have filmed back about a month and a half ago, we would have had a whole
line.
entourage of boats. But because they got put off, I think they had their plans, and the weather got
Holidays,
bad.
yeah.
And then
You
yesterday probably scared a lot of people off. But I said to the guys, all you need is one lure down here, and actually rigged these up for them. And you bought some. And you had a
we
hard
bought
time
some.
finding
They
them,
were
right?
hard to get. They were
Yeah.
sold out.
This is the famous Rapala, a tail dancer, and the size is a number 9. That means it's 9 centimeters long. The color is hot chub. And I can't stress enough to the viewers, I know you guys believed me when I
Oh,
told
yeah.
you.
They do, they
if
work.
all you do is get one of these and cast it here along the weed lines, and you can see the shoreline. All we're doing is casting. The boat is in about 20, 15 feet of water, and we're casting to the weed edges, which is at about 10 feet. And you can see them. We wear sunglasses when we're casting. And you got to keep that over and over again, casting, casting, casting. And when you least expect it,
Boom.
hello, you got one on, right? I can't stress how important it is to have a couple of sonars in the boat. This is the 581i sonar, and I have it, the transducer right on the electric. What you're seeing here, we're in 12.4 feet of water. Look at this. This is a school of bait fish, and there's some fish that are dodging through there. So you can see why we're using these tail dancers and working just off the weed lines, because you got these massive schools of bait fish. Look, they're from about 7 feet down to 11. So this is why the walleye move in here. So by having the transducer on my electric, I know exactly what's underneath us, and I can control the boat left or right off the weeds. Now, the nice thing about this particular sonar is that the transducer is right here. Let me show you. It's right at the bottom of my electric. So here's my electric trolling motor, the Turova. You can see I've got the transducer right here on the head of the electric, which is kind of nice. So I also have a transducer at the console of the boat. And also, this particular model of Minn Kota is ideal because I can work it with my foot control, just like I am now, and I can position myself exactly off the weeds, or I can use the autopilot, and it's just a little remote that hangs around my neck. But because we don't have a lot of wind and there's no current here, it's ideal just to use with the foot control. But it's kind of really important to have an electric trolling motor and the sonar so you know exactly where you're fishing on the weed line. And of course, when you mark the bait fish, you're mentally ready for a fish to hit.
X-Mark, you find fish catch of the day.
Darcy, Tony calling. All right, I'm looking at your picture, and I need you to think back to the day that you caught this nice walleye. Looks like it was cold, but you had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Think about how you caught it, what it was all about, anything fun and funny that happened, and go.
It was early in the morning on November 4th. I got up in the morning and I decided to go out. So because I only had a little bit of time, we decided to troll a weed line, and we were using Lindy spinners and soft plastic gulp imitation worms. It was just after the sun came out, and this girl came out and decided to play. So we took a couple of pictures and put her back, and a few weeks later I decided to upload the picture on the You Find Fish app that I downloaded from the App Store.
Good one. Mulligan, we got another fish on. Keep the pressure on. Yeah, let him pull. Cool. You'll notice that I've got the drags right down on that shift reel just to get a good hook set. And we're using a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader with that 10-pound braid as our main line, and it seems to just work like a charm. You get long casts. If you hit a weed, you rip through it. Okay, easy, easy. Yeah, try not to pull his head out because they'll use it and twist back and forth. So you must get a lot of big walleye because you're like...
All this.
Why are your knees shaking? Wait, is that a wobble? I should have let him fight out. Okay, let's stand. Don't you feel sorry for us? I was in the rain all day yesterday. Gary hasn't hooked a fish yet.
And
you know,
right
that's
away.
2 in a row.
Oh, man.
And this one's
nice.
bigger. You're upping. But you know, we got to tell the viewers, we're marking a lot of bait fish on the sonar at about 14 feet. And those bait fish are just off the weeds. Now this is where I got to be careful here. I got to put him down for a sec.
Watch your finger.
Well, I want to be on the opposite side of the crankbait. Because if he's thrashing, if you hold the net there, because he really socked this crankbait, it's got the front hook in his mouth. And whenever a fish is hooked on the front of the crankbait, I know they're very aggressive because they get it head first. It's none of this snipping at the tail, you know. So you can see he's hooked well. We're hooked in the net, but you know what? This Lucky Strike live release net has a plastic coating on the mesh. So it's just in the actual honeycomb pattern, but it's not caught in the material. So you see me working it here.
Beautiful.
Let's get a quick measurement. Let me get the tail. Okay, got the tail in the right spot?
Yeah, 27 inches.
Good fish. He's got to be a good 6-pounder. Okay.
There we go.
Let's do the same thing. Okay, let's get him in the water. You know what to do, Stan. Let him. Oh, he's got tons already. Isn't that amazing?
He's ready to go now.
We had him out. We took the pictures, but they got so much energy. But he's still good instead of just throwing the fish over the side, to take the time to actually get him. See, he could have gone to the bottom and turned upside down. So we want him to right himself. That's why I help him sometimes a little bit. I don't know if I can hold him up without him flying out of my hands. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful creature? Beautiful gold size, the doré. Guess what? You can't hold them back.
Perfect.
Now, you know, I was saying earlier that the line is so important, and the rods that we're using. Gary asked me earlier what lines we're using. We're using the Suffix 832 braid. It's kind of a special braid because if you look at the back here, they explain they've got one strand of a very special material that keeps the braid from collapsing. It doesn't get too limp. So what we're using 10-pound test Suffix, which is the line diameter of 6-pound test monofilament, very thin.
nice.
That's why our lures can dive down to the true depth really quick. If you hit a weed, you give it a snap, it cuts the weed. And then we're using Suffix as the fluorocarbon leader material. This is a spool of 12. We're actually using 20-pound test. Because as you saw from that fish, they can get chunky and they have hard mouths with teeth. And especially if they go around rocks, it's got zebra mussels on them, we don't want to miss them. So a lot of people think, well, my line's okay. I haven't had to change it for 2 or 3 years, haven't fished that much. and it's monofilament. If you were to use monofilament here, a lot of times there's so much stretch you don't get the hooks in. So you get that nice big walleye near the boat and whew, even 2 trebles come flying out of its mouth.
Yeah.
So it really helps to have the right setup for this specific type of fishing, which is cranking for big fish.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's get back to cranking.
Cool.
Fisher girl! Catch the passion!
A few things that younger people should consider when choosing a rod is choosing one that works for them. And I'm holding here a Foxy outfit from Fisher Girl. The nice thing about these guys is they have a tag on it that says specifically what they're for. This one's for teens. This is a 5-foot rod, which is great for about teen sizes because you don't really want the rod to be a whole lot taller than they are. It makes it easier for casting. Another nice thing is it has a very simple reel. It also has a rear drag, which makes it easier to set so you're not getting your hand in the way up here. And it has the little reverse button. Another nice thing is this pop-off spool. Makes it very easy to change your weight of line.
You know, this rod is ideal because it comes in 2 pieces, so it's very easy to transport around. It's also made out of fiberglass, so it's going to be very durable, and it has this nice PVC handle, which is very comfortable. So I think any young person would be very happy with this outfit.
I agree.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Naden Boats, Canada's finest aluminum boats.
One of my favorite ways to fish for walleye is by casting and retrieving crankbaits, and especially casting them to weed edges on weed lines or at the end of weed beds where they meet the deeper water. 2 of my favorite crankbaits are the Rapala tail dancer, which I'm holding up in my right hand, and this particular one is called a double deep. You can see that it's got the longer lip. You can use them in a variety of colors. One of my favorite is the hot chub. And the lure that I have in my left hand is called the Dive 2 series from Rapala. And this particular one dives to 10 feet. So you can see that one is a chartreuse color, the one in my left hand, which is very good to use if there's a lot of algae blooms early and late in the day or if it's overcast. And then the more silver, natural colored one during the middle of the day, especially if it's sunny. Both these lures can be trolled or cast and retrieved, and you can fish them at a variety of depths. Stan, I don't know what you did yesterday.
Yeah.
What pills did you take this morning?
I did no pills. I think I got
Energy
some
pills?
sleep, I think.
It was a granola bar.
Gary, I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch you pro land this fish, okay? You got that fish hooked perfectly just in the side of the mouth. Yeah, let him get fought out because then he won't thrash in the net so much. Look at 3 men hanging over the side of the boat, a river hawk, and one huge walleye towing us around the lake.
That's a beautiful walleye.
Is that a nice walleye? He's doing pretty good.
Oh,
eh?
he's doing lovely. Look at that.
Does he really work for a living? Or
No,
does he fish?
Okay, I think it's time to.
Okay, in the net.
He's
when
having,
he comes up,
he's
in
having,
the net.
He's
That's
having,
it.
He's having fun. Look at that.
Did you
Beautiful.
like that last splash, the kaboom?
Look at that.
No, you must be getting bored.
Beautiful.
I don't know. I think I can take this better than any day at the
What's
office.
it feel like? I haven't had one.
Yeah, I know. What was it feel
He's not telling us. It just feels nice.
Look at that. And it just let go.
Yeah, just let
there
go.
you go.
Oh, that's
you
a
don't
beautiful
mind
one.
if I shoot you again?
No, go
There
right
you go.
ahead.
Go for it.
You got it? No, the two of you guys in the shot here.
Yeah,
I'm trying to make you famous. Okay?
Look at that.
See, either
Dorsal
that,
fin, look at that.
I'm
look
going to
at
have
the
to share your
sun
fish here.
shining on that is gorgeous. I'm going to make you famous, or you're going to be in trouble. One or the other. I don't know. Okay. So you know what? That's perfect. Let's get a measurement
Let's get
on
a
them.
size
It's
on her.
always nice to know. We don't need a scale.
Look at that.
You're
are we
up
at?
to almost 25.
25.
Yeah,
25 inch.
25 inch.
Okay,
Beautiful.
we're going to put him back in the net. You just hold him for 1 sec here. Gary,
Yep,
we're
I
going
got
to
her.
teamwork. We're not going to break the rod. Okay, we're going to go like this. I just got to
we
get
go.
this Rapala out of this mesh, which is no problem.
These are nice nets.
They are, you know,
Very nice.
especially when you're using crankbaits. I mean, if you're using a jig or a hook and a bait, you know, and the fish gets it in its mouth, nothing is exposed. But here we got treble hooks, and these are
Yeah,
pretty sharp hooks. I think they're
just come right out.
VMC. Yeah. So just hold on to that fish. Is your hand getting
Yep.
tired?
Oh.
Your arm? Live with it.
Enjoy every moment.
Yeah, because we might start catching
we
fish too. Okay, let's get him in the net.
In the net there.
Yep.
Right here,
Yep,
yeah, we're
that's
going to
right.
put him in the net. And we're going to go through the routine of letting him revive a little bit.
Go, yep.
This is where we have some special time with the walleye. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
We
he's
say,
ready-
you're
he's
such a
ready to
nice
go.
fish. I'm just going to move this tail dancer. We're going to hold him
Okay.
out. just like that.
Yeah, okay.
And you know what? Watch how much energy he's got.
Yep, he'll
Let's
get going.
just hold him up a little bit. Look at that white fish.
It's
He
got
wants
some
to go.
girth to that.
He wants to go. He's
There he goes.
loading.
He's slowly.
Head shake. There he goes, right down to the bottom, about
Beautiful.
45 degrees.
That was a lovely fish.
Now, you know, the outfits Stan is using, and Gary, which is similar to mine, are these shift outfits from Rapala. And they're called medium heavy. The one thing that I like about them right off the bat is they're light, they're very strong. They're one piece. So you know, a lot of times when you're fishing every once in a while, you go to cast and half the rod tip flies out. And you
Happened many
turns
times.
on you. Oh, yeah, they go right in.
So these are one piece. They're great if you've got a truck. Like I've got an 8-foot bed, so I put all the rods
Lay them all
in
in.
the boat. But these rods are very sensitive. And you can see that they don't have a full grip. This is called a split grip. And they've actually called it an X grip here. But what they've done is they've cut down on the amount of this urethane that's used. It's very comfortable where your hand goes, but there's not much here. And they've done that so that it can conduct the vibrations down the rod a lot more. A lot of times when I'm in stores, because I do these store appearances like at sale and stuff, I get them to hold 2 or 3 different rods, and they'll take a shift one, and I'll put the tip of my rod on the Adam's apple. And you feel every vibration from my voice. It's so strong.
Wow.
So as you know, we're hooking a lot of weeds. And we are setting the hook just in case, but you can tell the difference between a weed, and the rods are stiff enough that with the braid you can rip through it. But when you feel a fish, there's no question about it, right?
You got it on.
That's right. And it's matched with the shift reel. So these reels, as you've seen, cast really smoothly.
Oh, very nice.
They've got a
Beautiful.
smooth drag, and we've got the drags pretty tight because these big fish have big heads and bony mouths, so we got to set the hook. So they got a nice drag once you engage the fish. And they're light. You can fish with them all day. So I don't know what they weigh. I tell people that it's very important when they get an outfit that it should be balanced. You should be able to put that rod and reel with all your gear, whether it's the fishing lure and the reel full of line, and it should be balanced on your finger. So you don't put a big oversized reel or get a big rod with a little reel, you know? Because when it's balanced like that, you can cast all day. And you guys are going to cast all day, okay? Don't start whining. You've got too many big walleye. Sinkers are very important when it comes to fishing because they help us get our baits and lures down to the bottom, and a lot of times that's where the fish are. But some of the materials used for sinkers can be very toxic, like lead. So if you have a choice, it doesn't matter whether you're a live bait fisherman and you use split shot sinkers or you use bell sinkers or egg sinkers, or whether you use artificial lures like plastic worms and so on, you can actually use materials like bismuth, tungsten, or brass. They're not as bad for the environment because they're natural elements, and in some cases they're more compact in size, they'll drop quicker, and because they're harder than lead, they'll actually make noise when they come in contact to the bottom. So as a fisherman, you do have a choice as to what sinkers you use. It's so nice to be fishing with Gary and Stan. They've been good. There's been no cussing in the boat, no yelling when they get a fish, like, oh, I got one. And now we're very close to Lake Ontario. You can almost see Kingston. And you know what? I don't know, I'm not going to put my glasses on. I'm going to come back here, though, with you guys. I'm going to be coming back with the men. And I'm hoping this is a decent walleye. But, you know, it could be anything. I've caught big pike here. Okay, who's going to be the net man?
Oh, the man's already got it in his hand.
Okay,
So.
no problem.
Okay, there's no pressure, okay? You just don't miss it.
No
okay?
pressure, just don't miss it.
It's a long way back to the vehicle. Okay, you ready? You know what? It's not bad.
Yeah.
Look at the way it's got that
beautiful
bait
color.
in its mouth.
That's a nice one.
Good one.
Look at that. Beautiful.
Okay,
That's
team,
nice.
it's a team
That's
effort,
a go.
okay?
There you go.
Now, remember what I said about some of the bigger fish being down here close to the lake?
Yep. Oh, look at that. That's a beaut.
Now, I want to show the viewers, hopefully I can get the head out without the lure pulling out. It's kind of, this
in there.
fish, come on fish. How am I going to do this here?
Pliers are
Trying
right
to-
on
I'm
the
trying to
side
turn
there.
him around because he's got the lip wound in there. I don't want to break the crankbait. You can see that this crankbait is broadside. This guy was not messing around.
Nope.
I hope there's more, even if I got to sneak back around.
He was hungry.
Yeah. So what we're doing here, we're actually fishing a deeper weed line. The weeds come right out to 15 feet. Normally, even in a dolphin's reach, I'm just going to try to get him out because he's kind of pulling against the thing.
Okay.
See if I can do one thing at a time. So we're in a deeper weed line situation, much clearer water. It looks like the ocean. And I'm thinking that some of the bigger fish are coming in from Lake Ontario. And I think that's probably what's happening. So I've almost got this.
Beautiful.
Perfect. Look at that.
nice.
Isn't that a nice?
beautiful.
It's not
That's
really a
nice.
Bay of Quinte. This is
Yep.
a Lake Ontario walleye.
That's a
And you know
beauty.
what? He's got the lure in his mouth. I'm going to take a quick measurement.
Okay.
And
We're almost
29, almost 29 inches.
Yeah.
So you know what, guys?
Beauty. There.
I'm going to get you to take a photo because I know you're expert fisherman, cameraman, everything.
Alrighty.
Okay, who's going to be the photographer? There's the button right there.
Okay, no
If you
problem.
stand in the corner there, it's like the old-fashioned one that you have to look through. If you can believe that. Let's try a vertical. That's up and
Okay.
down.
There we go.
Perfect. Okay,
That's
I'm,
a beaut.
I'm going to get that crankbait out of its mouth, and we're going to get it in the net. Hook
There
should
we
just
go.
pop out, even though they're razor sharp. And off the fin. Okay, we'll get him back in the water.
Okay,
Look
no
at,
problem.
is he heavy or
Oh,
what?
that's a beaut. That's
Yeah.
a beaut.
How long was he again?
29 inches.
Almost
Yeah,
30.
that's a nice
Almost
walleye.
30.
Actually, we're getting into the shallows, so you can appreciate. Look at how gorgeous. He doesn't want to go.
Yep.
Come here.
Doesn't want to let go.
Come here. He's got big teeth. That's
There
why.
you
Look
go.
at. Isn't that a gorgeous walleye?
That's a beaut.
That's a beautiful fish. Just going to hold him out a little bit, and you know what? You're going to
gonna
see
go.
how camouflaged he is in just a moment. Man, when they want to go, they just bolt
Oh,
off.
it just went. Beautiful fish.
Great net job. I just want to get some of that smell. Now, even though I was letting the guys use the tail dancer, you know, so that they get more fish, I tried putting on this, it's called the Rapala Dives 2 DT7, which stands for 7 feet. That's how far down it goes. Flat series. So if you look at this, if I hold it like that, see how thin the profile is? It's not very wide. What I like about it is that it's got this wide lip that they've trimmed, and it gives you a really side-to-side action. And a lot of the walleyes I've found this time of the year are cruising the weed lines, sometimes as deep as 15, 20 feet, but they come up for the lures. And a good example of that is Stan. 2 or 3 of his fish hit literally 5, 10 feet from the boat.
That's right.
And I don't think they were following it. They don't mess. If they see
Yeah.
that lure go, they hit it right away.
That's right.
So I think they just see it and nail it. So they intercept it. They were cruising maybe 5 feet below the surface. So if you want to make sure this is the right lure, all you got to do is look at the lip, because it actually has the code and it has the 7 feet right on there. So it's a very good alternative, and you can see that we're using the bright yellow, and look, we got a tooth puncher.
There you
I
go.
like that.
So you know.
That's like a little star, you know.
Canadian Sport Fishing is brought to you by Suffix, the world's most hardcore fishing line. Yamaha Outboards, reliability starts here. Sail, the outdoors superstore. Fisher Girl, catch the passion.
Now, what's so unique about this particular crankbait isn't just the size, but also the angle of the slip. I'm going to hold up in my right hand here the standard Dives 2 Rapala. You can see it here. Now notice the way the lip comes straight out from that lure. So it's parallel, literally, to like the eyes or the head of the lure. But if you look at the thud, which is right here, if I hold the lures in the same direction, horizontal, see how that lip is angled down? So the Dives 2 flat, which is this one here, will dive down to about 10 feet. This particular one will dive down to about 7, 8 feet, but you can control the buoyancy. Even though they're both suspending lures, this one will rise a little bit quicker.